Hey, hello again. I decided to put out one more quick story. Y'all got time for a story? Good. That's an inside joke. So, what I'm thinking about is a story where I've been pretty much every character in this story except for one, but I'm just gonna describe some of the people that we're gonna hear about. First is an Aikido master. I've been the Aikido master many times. Another's a belligerent drunk. I've been the belligerent drunk. More times than I wish I had. I've been pretty much everyone on this train that I'm going to describe here. But it's a story about love, and it's a story about love in combat. And it's amazing. There's another character on this train, a beautiful little Japanese man. Here's the story. So the Aikido master is from the States, and the Aikido master is very well trained, and he's decided to take his training to the next level. So he's going to move to Japan, and he's been training for 3 years straight under a Japanese master. 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, he is training, and he is a master, and he's mastered the arts of grappling, throwing. He is a master in combat. Maybe. Because the problem for the Aikido master is he's never actually had his skills tested in combat. Because Aikido is the art of reconciliation. And in Aikido, if your intention is violence and to fight, you've already lost your connection with Source. You've lost your connection with everything, and you are on the wrong path. I get that. But the Aikido master, in his heart of hearts, really does want an opportunity to use his training in a manner whereby he is perfectly within his rights and has done nothing wrong, and he really saved the innocent from the guilty. And he used his training to do it, and he was a hero, but it was the right way. It was the right time. Right? I get that. Of course, right? So now what happens? So he's on the train, and they stop. And all of a sudden, a belligerent drunk, big burly guy, he's filthy, calls him a laborer. You can just see there's dirt and grime all over him. His hair's all matted and filthy, and he's drunk, and he's yelling and screaming the moment he comes on the train. As soon as he comes in, the way he busts in, a woman holding a baby gets knocked over. She spins around, lands in the lap of another person sitting around. It's a miracle that the baby isn't hurt. But the baby isn't. That's good. And now the drunk continues moving through the train. He comes to a couple having tea, flips out at them. They all get up, run, leave the cart. Now the Aikido master's watching all this, and he's in the back corner of the train. And then in his mind, he says, this is it. This is that pure opportunity I've been waiting for. And I should help, because if I don't, there's some of these innocent people might get hurt. This is time. So he stands up from the other side of the train, and now the Japanese laborer looks over, drunk, belligerent, sees him and says, "Oh, a foreigner. Maybe you need to be taught a lesson in manners, foreigner." And so the Aikido master is looking at him with disgust. The kind of disgust you look at a person with where they can see the disgust on your face and it's easy to read. And then blows in an insolent kiss. You know, because he wants him mad. Why does he want him mad? Because he's still going to do it through defense. He's going to make sure that the laborer acts first, because he is well trained, and he's going to tear him apart. But he's going to make him act first. Well, after he blew the kiss, now the laborer says, all right, you're going to get it. And right as he goes to move, all of a sudden, a high-pitched hey rings out in the background. Hey! And it's a hey that sounds like you and a couple of your friends were looking for something of huge value and you lost it. And he's like, hey, I found it. It's that kind of a hey. So that breaks the entire scene. Now the Aikido master swings to the left. And the drunk, belligerent guy swings to the right. And there's this little Japanese man in an immaculate kimono sitting there looking pristine. It's got to be in his 70s, late 70s probably. And he's got his focus locked on the drunk man. And with sparkling and love and life in his eyes, he says, hey, come on over here. I want to talk to you. And so the belligerent man starts stumbling over in his direction, plants his feet in front of him and says, what do you want? There's spit coming out of his mouth, falling on the guy's kimono. The Aikido master's watching all this. He sees the spit fall on the kimono. He's like, man, if he even moves his elbow, I'm just going to take him apart. And so this small Japanese man looks up at him and says, yeah, what are you drinking? So the belligerent drunk says, sake, what's it to you? Now that little Japanese man says, oh, sake. I love sake. I'm actually on my way home. I'll see my wife when we get home. We sit down and have sake every night. I'll warm up some sake. We'll go out to the bench. We sit on the bench in our backyard and we just look at our persimmon tree. I love that persimmon tree. She loves it too. My grandfather planted it, you know. It's been there for 3 generations, that persimmon tree. So we get home, we relax, we enjoy each other's company at the end of the night. We sip our sake, we look at the persimmon. It's beautiful, you know. And we're glad that persimmon tree made it. Last year there was a really rough frost. We didn't think it was going to make it through. But it did, you know. It's amazing too when you consider the poor quality of the soil that it even survives at all. Now as he's saying all of this, the drunk man is trying to follow, but he's kind of falling off, and then the Aikido master is watching him and his fist is slowly unclenching. And the belligerent man looks down at the Japanese guy and says, I like persimmons too. And then the little Japanese man looks up and says, and I'm sure you have a wonderful wife too. And you're probably on your way home to see her, right? And now that big, dirty, filthy, drunk, belligerent laborer, his face changes. And he looks down at the Japanese man and he says, no, I have no wife. She died. And I have no home to go home to. And I have no job. And if she was alive, she'd be so ashamed of me, and I'm so ashamed of myself. And the tears are streaming down his face. It gets me emotional because I'm telling you, I've been the Aikido master, and I've been the belligerent drunk. And as the tears roll down his face, the Aikido master looks. And he can't really believe what he's seeing. And he kind of steps back a little, and now that small Japanese man looks up at the drunk and he says, that is a predicament. Sit down next to me, let's talk. And now the Aikido master is completely taken back. So he moves back to his seat, and the belligerent drunk is no longer belligerent. He's sitting down with that beautiful Japanese man. And so the stop has arrived for the Aikido master to get off the train. And he gets off the train and he looks back one last time just to see. And now that big belligerent man is just a small pile of mass, curled up like a baby. And he's got his head in the lap of that beautiful Japanese man. And that man is just stroking his hair and loving him and telling him it'll be okay. And as the door shuts and the train drives away, the Aikido master says, wow, I really just saw Aikido in combat. And what I meant to do with brute force, strength, and violence, that beautiful Japanese man just accomplished with pure love. That is the true path. That is the way. That is the truth and the life. Do you see? Be blessed, people. Walk in love. We don't understand what people are going through. The only one in that story I've never been is that beautiful Japanese man. And that's who I'm walking after now. Because that beautiful Japanese man was Christ, sitting there, waiting for that man to come. Pay attention to your surroundings and always be in the kingdom. You think he screamed out that, "Hey!" because he knew how it was all going to turn out? No, he's just a man that knew how to move in love and understood that this world breaks people down. Have a blessed day. Love people.